Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially a few days away from the release of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. After more than 9 years of FNAF, it is the final countdown before the official movie releases this Friday, October 27th. For people in the UK, it will be out on the 25th. Lucky you. In today's video, I will be discussing a lot of controversial topics on the FNAF movie. Will it be good or bad? And also some theories on what might happen in the movie as well. For all I know, I'm really excited to see it this Friday. I've been waiting so long for this moment, and now it is finally here. To start off this video, let's go ahead and talk about one of the main topics that is going around the internet. Will the FNAF movie be good or be bad? Now this all depends on what you think it will be, but I'm here to talk more about it. Personally, I think the FNAF movie will be a good film. I've seen a lot of people say that they think it won't be scary because it's PG-13. Now, I understand why you may think that, but it's just simply not true. A PG-13 rating on a film just signifies that it will not have a lot of blood, rarely any use of profanity, and has no nudity whatsoever. Now, there are plenty of horror films out there that are rated PG-13. They may not be as scary as rated R, but they still have a horror element in them. Now personally, I've never been scared of Five Nights at Freddy's throughout my life. I've been jump scared plenty of times and creeped out at some points in the games, but I've never really found it to be scary. Now that's just my opinion, and personally I don't think the FNAF movie will be scary to me. But I'm sure that the FNAF movie will have a creepy element to it that gives it that FNAF vibe. I just don't think that it will be scary to me, personally. But in all honesty, I don't really care if it is scary or not. I'm just glad that after 9 years, we finally have a FNAF movie that we can watch and enjoy for the first time in theaters. Another topic I've seen going around is if the FNAF movie lore is the same as the game lore. Now, I think it's pretty obvious by now that no, it is not the same lore. It is the same franchise, just not related to the game's timeline in any way. Simply because of some of the name changes of some characters, such as Abby, Mike's younger sister, who in the game lore is Elizabeth, Steve Raglan, which is the cover-up name for William Afton in the movie, and in the original game lore, his cover-up name was Dave Miller, and Garrett, who in the movie is Mike's younger brother, and in the original game lore, I'm pretty sure his name was Evan, the crying child, as he's also referred to, you know, the kid whose head was bitten off by Fredbear. We'll get to that topic again soon. Also, I can tell that the pizzeria is nothing like it is to the game pizzeria. Now, one thing I want to point out is how people complained about the red eyes in the trailers. It's kind of obvious on why they have red eyes. First of all, you can tell in the games when the spirits of the animatronics get angry. Their eyes become fully black with a white pupil in the middle. Don't get me wrong, it would have made the movie more scary if it actually had that, but it wouldn't really make sense to bring that into live action. Having the animatronics' eyes suddenly turn into this Vanta black with a white pupil in the middle, it would take away the real-life feeling of the movie. The movie is converting a video game into live action. They obviously can't keep everything from a game and turn it into a movie, which also explains the massive pizzeria change not being the same as the FNAF 1 pizzeria. Everything about the movie pizzeria is way different from the games. They had to take a video game pizzeria and turn it into a location as if it was a real-life location in the 80s and style it to make it look that way. But overall, I still think it looks great. I love the pizzeria design and how it is meant to actually represent a real-life location in the 80s. Now, I have a few theories on the FNAF movie. I got some big theories on major events that have happened in the game that might just happen in the movie. Let's start with the most anticipated one, the spring lock scene. Now, we know that William Afton will be inside the Spring Bonnie suit in the movie. We've seen it countless times in the trailers, which leads people to believe that we might get the scene where he gets spring locked. I have really high hopes for this moment, and for people who did not see, there was a 9-minute film of the security office in the FNAF movie of a bunch of brand new scenes and clips that we have not seen, some old ones, but mostly new ones. Now, right at the very end of the video, we get this. We get some really cool shots of Spring Bonnie, but if you listen closely in the background, you hear a scream. Now, to me, that does not sound like a child screaming. To me, that sounds like a Matthew Lillard scream. For example, here is him talking.
This place was huge in the 80s with the kids. They shut it down years ago. The owner's just not ready to let it go yet.
Now listen closely to the background of this. I don't know, it sounds like that might be Matthew Lillard, who plays William Afton. Now, why would William be screaming? It would only make sense for him to scream if his body is being crushed by spring locks, hence the spring lock scene. I think it will probably be at the very end of the movie, or if not close to the end of the movie. I don't think we will see all the blood and gore that everyone wants to see, but we will get the point of it and know what happens to him despite there being no to very little blood. Now, for people unaware, Emma Tammy, the director of the film, stated that there is one animatronic that has not been revealed or seen in any of the trailers whatsoever, which has made people think that it will either be the puppet or Balloon Boy. Now, I think that it will probably be the puppet, but with that 9-minute long video, another possible animatronic came to my mind, which is Fredbear. Which brings me to my next major scene that I think we could see, which is the Bite of 83. Now, around a quarter of the way through, we get a quick glimpse of what appears to be a kid or teenager yelling, "Garrett." Now, Garrett in the movie is Mike's younger brother, which goes to show that the teenager screaming is a young version of Mike in a flashback. Now, for people thinking, well, if it was the Bite of 83, they would be wearing the Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy mask, especially Mike since, he was wearing the Foxy mask. Now, that could be the case. This may not be the Bite of 83. But why else would young Mike be yelling his younger brother's name? It would kind of only make sense for him to see Fredbear biting down on his younger brother's head, which could have caused Mike to remove his mask and see what major mistake he has made, hence the screaming of his brother's name. Now, I may be wrong, and I totally get it, but I think that we will get a flashback of the Bite of 83. It may not be to the original game lore, and that's fine, but still seeing this scene show up in the movie would definitely boost my rating of it. The animatronics are another topic that I do want to bring up. People have been saying that they look kinda goofy in a way, or just look like bad CGI. Don't get me wrong, in some scenes I do think they look a little bit goofy too, but for the people who thought that they were CGI, they're just stupid. No, they were not CGI. They were actual costumes made by Jim Henson's Creature Shop, all the way back in December, I think. I may be wrong about the date. But they made 2 versions of the suits. One version for them to be worn by the 3 actors, and the second version being for the actual animatronic scenes. Now, Foxy does not have an actor since there is no person inside him, since you can see through him like Swiss cheese. There's no hiding an actor in there at all. Which may also explain why they had so many problems with Foxy too. Fun fact, during the production, Emma Tammy said that Foxy's arm actually caught on fire during production, since they had 6 puppeteers controlling him at once.
We were rolling and I heard someone quietly and calmly say, "Foxy's arm is on fire." And I looked over and one of the servos had been going for quite some time and it overheated, which happens sometimes. But this was actually the only time it happened on set. And it just started smoking and everyone calmly walked away. We put it out and switched out the arm. But yeah, it was, they were live robotic elements at play, and sometimes they only have a certain amount of time that they can operate.
But it may also explain why Foxy running down the hallway looks like he's just levitating at Mike. He probably is being pushed on a rolling platform, since they can't have an actor actually do that. Now, the movie's budget was $25 million US, which is technically a below average budget for a Universal film. Now, the average budget for a Universal film is around $35 million USD, but for Blumhouse, who also made the movie, this was a higher budget for them. Now, the reason for the low budget for the FNAF movie from Universal is because Universal has never made a film with a theme of possessed animatronics haunting a kid's pizzeria. That's never been a movie they've made. So, for the first time, they gave it a lower budget to see how well that it could do. Now, I'm going to say right now, I know for a fact that the FNAF movie is going to do well. Come on, this is Five Nights at Freddy's we're talking about. The massive fan base that this game has, it's going to be insane. The amount of money that the movie was actually estimated to make on opening night was roughly 12 million USD. Holy crap, that is a lot on opening night. It was also estimated that if it does extremely well, it will be the second highest grossing horror film on opening night ever, right behind 2017's It. The second highest grossing horror film on opening night ever. That is insane. Now, if that does come true, then 100% we're getting a sequel. I mean, it was already confirmed by Emma Tammy and Matthew Lillard that he has signed a 3-picture deal with Blumhouse, which means that if the first one does well, we are going to get a full trilogy of the FNAF movie, which only makes sense considering how big the FNAF story is. It would make sense to spread it across 3 films rather than shoving it in one movie. The final topic that I wanted to talk about is probably a very big controversial one. And it's the Together We Are FNAF. Oh boy, I'm going to go ham on this one. To put some context into this, there was a TV spot trailer that showed a quick shot of what seemed to be Mike walking in on Abby with all 4 animatronics: Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy hidden in the back. I don't think that this will happen at all in the movie. It's been a meme going around the internet for a bit of how all the animatronics will team up with Abby and Mike to take down William Afton. After getting this shot from one of the TV spot trailers, people have thought that this could happen, but I highly doubt it, alright? Scott was the one who wrote the story for the movie, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. I doubt he would have done something that stupid in the movie. If it is in the movie though, then I will be outside Scott's window in a matter of seconds. No, but if it actually is in the movie, I will probably just be very disappointed. I'm not going to get up and leave the theater. I'll just sit there and think of how weird it was to have been in there. Now, since the animatronics are possessed by kids, I mean, it would make sense for them to being friendly to Abby. They do want to make her just like them, which could possibly, which could be a possibility of her becoming Circus Baby in the future, or the puppet, I don't know. But yeah, that is really all about it that I had to say. Now remember, everything that I said in this video is either my opinion or just theories that I've made. This may not apply to you, and that's totally fine, but overall, I'm really excited to see this movie. I think it will be a pretty good movie. I know I'm seeing it with some friends of mine on Friday. So with that said, that wraps it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to give the video a faz like and a faz subscribe to my channel. I may have a video that comes out after the movie to talk about, if it lived up to everyone's expectations, but we'll see then. But I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all after the movie. See ya.